Okay, we are now live. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Truckey. I'm the director of the Beaumier UP Heritage Center, and I want to welcome you to the 2020 Sonderegger Symposium here at Northern Michigan University, sponsored by the Beaumier UP Heritage Center and the Center for Upper Peninsula Studies. We have a very full day of sessions that you can enjoy online. This is completely free and open to the public. And if you want, you've probably found a link how to get here and the schedule page. So we hope that you will use that throughout the day. Before we get started and before we have some opening comments from the president of the university, Dr. Fritz Erickson, I'd like to give some shout outs to some folks who helped make this possible. Number one is the Sonderegger Symposium and the Sonderegger Endowment, which helps support this every year. That is an endowment from the Sonderegger family in honor of Richard Sonderegger. In addition, I'd like to thank Jeff Koval and Audiovisual Services. Jeff has done an amazing job pulling together this webinar and all the testing we had to do. There was a lot of work involved in putting this together online. So thanks again to Jeff. I'd also like to thank my planning committee, Joel Lubig, from the Department of Education, and Jill Leonard from the Department of Biology, who were really important to helping identify different topics and speakers and areas. And in addition, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion and Dr. Jessica Cruz, who was, and other folks in her department and an area where really helped us identify different speakers as well and putting together sessions. I really appreciate their help in making it possible, because that's why we have such a diverse and fascinating range of topics and speakers today. I'd also like to thank our moderators today. We have several people who are going to be helping to moderate sessions, including Dr. Leslie Warren and two students of mine, Zoe Folsom and Charles Griffin, who will be assisting throughout the day. So I want to thank them. And lastly, I want to thank all the speakers who are giving their time to be here today in these sessions. They are coming from all over the United States. And the state of Michigan and Marquette County. Many of them will be in their homes doing their presentations, which is our new world right now. And we really are glad that we could pull this all together. And lastly, I want to thank all of you who will be watching today, because it is so important that you are here and that we've been able to pull this together. And we want to thank your support. I do want to ask that as we progress throughout the day, that you be patient with us. This technology that we're using, they promised us this in the 1960s, that we'd get to talk to each other face to face. And it's amazing technology that here we are doing this, but it's not perfect. And we may have some glitches along the way. So if we do, please bear with us. We will get it fixed and we will be up and ready to go. So with that, I would like to introduce our opening speaker, Dr. Fritz Erickson, who was named Northern Michigan University's 15th president on July 1st, 2014. And since he's been coming or been to Northern, I could list so many initiatives that have taken place. It's kind of amazing, so we don't have time to go through them all. But prior to his tenure at NMU, Dr. Erickson served as provost and vice president for academic affairs at Ferris State University in Big Rapids, and also held administrative positions at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, Eastern Washington University, and Michigan Tech University. Before entering higher education, Erickson was a professor at Millersville University of Pennsylvania. Earlier in his career, he was an elementary and middle school teacher and worked for the Colorado Department of Education as an advisor for school districts on how to employ computer technology into the schools and curriculum. Dr. Erickson is the author of a technology book series and has written numerous magazine and journal articles and has published textbooks based on pedagogical model design to enhance learning outcomes, as well as books on the topics of youth suicide and children with reading problems. He also worked on the second edition of Wilbur Brookover's Creating Effective Schools, a book that influenced the effective schools movement. He holds an interdisciplinary doctorate in education and educational psychology, technology, research methodology, and a master's in curriculum and instruction, both from the University of Northern Colorado and a bachelor in social sciences from Western Michigan University. Go Broncos. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Fritz Erickson.
Thanks so much, Dan. I really appreciate it. And I'm certainly delighted to be here today, although like most of us, we miss in person. I'm worried that I'm losing any semblance of social skills because everything I do seems to be on Zoom one way or another. And I was telling Dan earlier as we get started that I hope when COVID is all done that we can ban from our vocabulary the words "you're on mute," because that seems to be the statement that I get quite often. Before I get started, I do want to give a bit of a shout out to the 2020 Upper Peninsula Folklife Awards recipients this year: Randy Sepola, Yvonne Lockwood, and Petka Olson. I think this is very cool, and it really is reflective of your talents and energy and commitment to the quality of life that we all get to so enjoy here in the Upper Peninsula. I was really excited to find that this year's theme was or is insider outsider, in large part because I feel like I've been both at different points in my life. I was living on the west coast or the east coast of the United States in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is why I've been monitoring election results with little sleep for the last, what seems like month. But I saw this opportunity at this strange school in Houghton that was looking for a department head, and for some unknown reason, they hired me. And it was interesting because I interviewed in March in the winter of 1997, and there was so much snow that it just really intrigued me to no end. And they offered me the job. We moved up there and we began to learn about, you know, the UP lifestyle, what it was, and how we began to adapt, not only from a cultural standpoint, social standpoint, all of those kinds of issues. I decidedly remember my son was going into kindergarten, and we took him to the Little Red Schoolhouse there for his first day of kindergarten, and he came back. We were, you know, quizzing him how to go. What do you think of all of this? And he looked at us and said, "I have to play hockey." I said, "Why do you have to play hockey?" He said, "I won't have any friends if I don't play hockey." And so, you know, from that point on, for the next 14, 15 years, we spent our lives in hockey rinks and chasing him around and so forth. And that really started from that kind of a cultural experience. We got to learn all kinds of things. Some of the things that we've figured out, some of the things that we haven't, and have really enjoyed our opportunity to be there. It was a great learning experience and a great opportunity for us. But as my career developed, I had an opportunity to move way out west, and we took that with fond memories of the UP and learning about it. And then lo and behold, ended up being here in Marquette for the last 7 years, and have transitioned what we think is from an outsider to an insider. Although my wife and I were talking this morning that one of the things we still haven't grasped is I'm sitting out at what I would always call our cabin, and people correct us all the time that it's a camp. And so I haven't quite got all the language down yet. I'm hoping when I do, I will get my official UPR card. I quite often get asked why I and we love the UP. And one of the things I was asked last year, I was down in Detroit, and someone said, "How can you possibly live there when you have all of that snow?" And I said two things. I said, one, we embrace the snow because, you know, it's what separates people of strong mind and spirit from those with weak mind and spirit. So you have to have strong mind and spirit to be here in the UP. I said, and secondly, if I drive into a snowbank in Marquette, I know that before I can get out of my car that someone will have stopped to help push me out. And we've all seen this time and time again. And I said, if I get stuck in a snowbank on I-75 or 275 in Detroit, there'll be tens of thousands of people that drive by that won't stop to help. And for me, that's always been one of the real differences. We are a community that's very much about we're in this together. And I don't think that could be more evident than today in the days of COVID, because people really are doing as much as possible to help one another out in big ways and small ways, and supporting and not supporting, and and finding ways in which we can be successful together. And when I get asked why Marquette, why the Upper Peninsula, it's very much about that. And for me, that's what it means to be an insider. That's what it means to be a Youper, that common connection that we have. And we learned all kinds of interesting things. One of the things I learned when I was in Houghton was it was okay to drive 120 miles to Marquette just to go out for dinner. We did that. We were like, hey, or go to Mecca or Menards, as we often called it, and be able to stock up on stuff we wanted to fix the house up with. Well, let's just run over there on a Saturday morning and do that. Time and distance have different meanings for us, and I think it's a remarkable thing that we see and that we do. One of the things that, of course, we are here in the Upper Peninsula as Youpers, you won't find a place that is more family-centric than we are. And I often say, I get asked about our faculty and staff at the university. And when I'm talking about our faculty, I often say, we have faculty from among the most prestigious institutions in the country. The faculty applicants that we turn around are from all the big name places. People want to be faculty at our university. They want to work here because of that shared commitment. And I often tell our new students, when you ask faculty why they're here, they'll tell you always two things. They'll say, I'm here because I like and value the direct personal interaction that I get to have with students, particularly undergraduates, which is why we do so much undergraduate research and engagement. But I'm also here for this lifestyle. This is a lifestyle that is unlike most places in the country. A friend of mine, I was saying this to someone, a friend of mine from the English department kind of chimed in and he said, yeah, we were thinking about getting a new house, but we couldn't sell our house because we've lived in it for 16 years and we can't find the keys. We don't think we've ever locked the doors. Now, I'm not advocating for something like that, but that's what it is to be part of this community. Lots of excitement. Doesn't mean we don't have our challenges. We clearly have our challenges, things that we need to collectively work on. We need to continue our efforts to be even more welcoming to diverse communities. How we make sure we're supporting people is an important part of who we are. And I think there are many, many opportunities for us to do that. So I'm looking forward to a lot of the conversations today. I'll bop in and out as I can. I spend a lot of time these days dealing with COVID stuff, and I need to kind of continue doing that. But I'll bop in and out as I can. I hope you really do enjoy this event. I certainly thank Dan and all of the folks that put so much time and effort into the Sonderegger Symposium. The financial support that we get to make this work is critical. And it is, again, one of the many things that we do together to bring a high quality of life, and very appreciative to all that goes on with the Sonderegger Symposium. So with that, I'll kick it off to the much more important stuff. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Erickson, for your comments and your anecdotes. Those are wonderful and a great way to start this day. I'll be talking about that identity of the Yooper later with Hillary Virtanen from Finlandia University, and echo some of your sentiments there. We're about to start our first sessions here. It's actually 8:32, so we have two rooms that are